Hi, thanks for spending a moment with me on the video version of the Norman Goldman Show. Now, I'm a lawyer and I practiced the law for 25 years and I did my share of car accidents. And sadly, in our modern society, car accidents are just a very common reality that we all have to deal with sooner or later. And I get a lot of questions all the time from people about car accidents. So let's spend a moment talking about what to do in case of a car accident. Let's start with this. I hope you have insurance. I hope you have liability insurance. Never ever tell anyone at the scene of an accident what your liability insurance limits are. You never want to tell them because that encourages them to make claims, especially if you have higher limits. Just say you have insurance, give your insurance card to the police officer or the other people in the accident, and stop there. It's generally better to say less at the scene of an accident than more. It's going to be held against you later. This is not a criminal case. Car accidents are civil cases, which means anything you say will always be used against you later. You never want to admit fault. And don't get into a fight with the other driver about whose fault it is. That's for later. Let the insurance companies and the courts deal with that. But the thing is, when you're in a car accident, you got to make sure that everybody's okay. And if everyone's not okay, get an ambulance. Get people taken away to the hospital. If you need assistance, get the police there. When the police show up, make sure that the police get your statement down accurately. Everything I just said about don't speak so much changes if the police show up. Give the police a full statement, but don't give them conclusions. Don't say it was the other guy's fault. Stick to the facts. Now, if you're in a car accident, you're going to be very nervous, right? Especially if it's your first one or your second one, but it doesn't matter how many accidents you're in. It's always a very upsetting experience. So your heart's going to be racing, you're going to be breathing very rapidly, you may be sweating, your mind will be racing. So try your best to stay calm and stick to the facts. But understand that the scene of an accident is not the place to decide who's at fault. Now, it'll be bad enough if weeks and months later, the other people involved in the accident start lying, saying that you, at the scene of the accident, admitted it was your fault. Worry about that later. Don't be surprised if later on people start putting words in your mouth that you know you didn't say. If they didn't record it on a cell phone, if they didn't record it on a video, then it's just your word against theirs, and don't worry about it. Now, if you do have a cell phone or a video, it's very good to take pictures and video of the scene of the accident before the cars are moved. This will be important later if there's a lawsuit, because there are accident reconstruction experts that can look at how the cars came together. They can look at how the tires are laying. They can look at where the glass is. Get a nice wide shot. Don't just start, right at the immediate scene. Step back 100 feet. 200 feet. Get a nice wide view so that whoever's looking at the video who wasn't there gets a sense of the scene of the thing. Now, if it's at night, it may be a little tough because there's not going to be a lot of lighting. But start from far away and then gradually come in closer and closer until you can get nice tight shots of the actual cars coming together. Now, in big cities, a lot of big cities, the police just won't respond to car accidents at all unless somebody says there's an injury. Now, if you want the police to show up, if you know you're not at fault, and you want a police report to confirm that you're not at fault, then, you may say, hey, I'm injured, or somebody here appears to be injured. It may not be entirely the truth, but hey, you've just had an accident. You don't know if everybody's injured or not. The police may ask. If you call the police, they may say if anyone's injured, and if you say no, they'll say, well, we're not going to respond. Then it's up to you to call the tow truck company and get your car taken care of. But once you call the police, if you make sure that nobody's injured or nobody's severely injured and everybody can walk away, then call your insurance company. If you have an insurance agent, call your insurance agent and your insurance company. It's better to report these things right away. The longer you wait to report, the worse it's going to be. Now, if you are injured in an accident, get to a doctor right away. If you have a regular doctor, go to your regular doctor. If you have health insurance, go to the doctor that your health insurance company recommends if you don't already have a regular doctor. What a lot of lawyers do when they have car accident cases is they direct their client to a doctor that the lawyer chose. That doesn't look good to the insurance company that you're going after. Now, I'm creating a fact situation where you're not at fault, where you're injured and you're looking at making a claim against the other person's liability insurance. You want to make it look like you're acting normally. And you should act normally. You don't want to manufacture a lot of extra medical bills just for the sake of puffing up an insurance claim. It's fraud. It's not honest. You shouldn't do it. Now understand, and insurance companies that you sue often have investigators that go around filming people very, very quietly. So you may not realize that you're under surveillance. Now, I was a lawyer and I did this kind of stuff. We would catch people playing basketball when they said their leg was broken. We'd catch people out gardening and bending over and stooping and picking up things when they said their back was hurting and they couldn't walk. Honesty is always the best policy. If you are hurt, work with the doctors you normally work with. Don't make it look like you're working with lawyers to puff up medical bills. But remember the basics. First, try and stay calm. Make sure you're okay. Make sure everybody else is okay. Call the police. Get an ambulance if people are injured. Get to the hospital. Say as little as you can. Call your insurance company. Call your insurance agent. Don't get into a fight about who's at fault. You just had a car accident. The last thing you need is a fist fight or a gun battle in the middle of the street over whose fault it was. If somebody's being belligerent with you, just walk away. Call the cops. All right? Get out as quick as you can. Get the cars towed. Get the process going. And go find yourself a good lawyer. So thanks for being with me on the video version of the Norman Goldman Show. I hope I did you some good, and we'll see you next time.